Coming off a 5-5 season from a year ago, the Rangers of Smithson Valley have waited 9 long months to get after it again. And that drive starts here tonight in Midland, Texas, against the Midland Lee Rebels. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 Ranger Network. Alongside former Baylor Bear and Washington Redskin Jeff Gandy, I'm Tony Brubaker, and again we welcome you to the Ranger Network. And Jeff, we've gone 350 miles and 5 hours in a vehicle today to get here, as the team has, and I think we're both ready to play. Hopefully they are.
I think both teams are ready to play. If you recall from last year's nail-biter 24-23 game won by the Midland Lee Rebels, I think tonight we're going to have another good contest. So I'll tell you what, Tony, I'm ready to go for 2019.
Some changes as far as personnel go. We've got a new quarterback. It's senior Luke Gombert. The backup a year ago gets to be the signal caller here tonight. He's got some weapons with Tietzman and Eggleston and a running back named Just Jacob Fortone, who was a good runner last year. He'll have to kind of spread the wealth around and get this offense getting first downs. Yeah,
I think you're right, Tony. Even though, Gombert's been waiting in the wings now for almost 2 years, being a backup to Levi Williams. Now it's his turn. Gombert's ready to step into and be the trigger man on the offense. And quite honestly, he's a senior. He's poised. He's very positive. I think he's going to do a good job here tonight. And to your point, he's got a lot of weapons to be able to disseminate the ball to. All he has to do is manage the football game and don't make mistakes. Don't force the football. Don't turn the football over. Sounds like an easy thing to do, right? But he's got a lot of talent around him to be able to help him out.
We mentioned Fortone carrying the ball. One of the primary ball handlers a year ago, Darlington Frosch, a junior, is now the middle linebacker, and he's got some weapons in front of him. With a very experienced defensive line, we expect good things from that side of the ball.
We sure do. Actually, when you're talking to Larry Hill a couple of weeks ago, he realized he has all his returning defensive linemen coming back this season, and the secondary's all coming back, where they really were the weak point was that linebacker, where only Zowick was coming back. So what did he do? He took the number 1, number 2, and number 5 rated best athletes on the Ranger football team and put them all at linebackers. And Darlington Frosch is the middle linebacker. Tell you, watching him in the scrimmage against O'Connor, albeit it's just a scrimmage, he looked really good. He plays downhill, he's aggressive, he's quick. Look forward to some good things from him tonight.
A good looking offense for the Rebels. They were quite effective a year ago at Ranger Stadium. Mikey Serrano's the quarterback, the junior. Has been able to really get this offense going after coming off the bench a year ago, and he's got an all-world wide receiver in Lokik Fungi, who is able to do everything because he's kicking and punting and catching the ball tonight.
He sure is. And again, Serrano is also, he's got a quality offensive line in front of him. All those players are back from last year's campaign. Serrano did play against the Smithson Valley Rangers last year, although sparingly, but he's a dual threat quarterback, and he does a good job of disseminating the ball in this spread offense. His number 1 go-to player, like you mentioned, Tony, is Fungi, 6'5", 220, runs a 4.4 40, and he's got a lot of football scholarships from the Power 5 schools waiting at his wings.
All right, it's Smithson Valley at Midland Lee. High school football on the Ranger Network tonight. We're back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
Fisher's Neighborhood Market is teaming up with the Smithson Valley Rangers. When you stop to gas up, look for the Ranger Spirit Pump. A portion of sales from this pump will be donated directly to the SV Athletic Booster Club to help out our Rangers. So choose the one that's Ranger Blue and fill up. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Matt, we are excited to hear what you have come up with for the new Sage Capital Bank jingle.
You are going to love it. We think it really embodies Sage Capital Bank. Emotes class, tradition, effort. Well, just give it a listen.
Man, that's really got spirit, but isn't that
awesome?
That's the Smith...
Best song ever.
Well, yes, it is.
Yes, nailed it. Guys, we have got ourselves a jingle. Let's do it again.
Sage Capital Bank is proud to support the Smithson Valley Rangers, and you can bank on that.
When the restaurant is on the brink,
we have a serious problem.
And the owners are at the end of their rope,
this is all I have.
They call me to do the impossible.
I need Robert's help.
We're not only changing restaurants, we're changing lives.
Oh my God!
All new Restaurant Impossible, Saturday night at 9 on Food Network.
Watch Food Network. GVTC, Channel 563.
We're back in Midland, Texas. And we're about ready to start. Is this Grande Stadium? Is that what I see?
Grande Communication.
Grande Stadium here in Midland. The Rebels will kick off. They won the toss, deferred. So Smithson Valley has chosen to receive. Eggleston is back. Is that Nutt back as well?
Nutt and Eggleston.
Yep. The kickoff is made by Finley Higgins. It goes through the end zone, and the Rangers will start 1st and 10. And first-year starter at quarterback, Luke Gombert, the senior, 6'2", 180 pounds or so. Completed 6 of 17 passes as a backup a year ago, and he'll start from the 25, 1st and 10, with an offensive line that includes Smith, Muchagamba, Brooks, Benka, and Donnie Bell. Chandler Cole, the tight end. The expected starting receivers, Tietzman and Eggleston. Fortone, the tailback. Austin Howell, the fullback. And somebody jumped on the defensive line. That's all-world, sophomore all-world nose tackler Cameron Curry. And the Rangers should get 5 yards out of this, so it'll be 1st and 5.
All the Rangers did was just shift out of their formation. It came in something new that we were talked about in our pregame, Tony, and that's their tight parameters. You know, everybody has a tight shift, and then they shifted out of it, and it drew the nose guard off sides.
Smithson Valley comes out in a similar formation to start. Receiver either way. The running back moves left to right. Looks like we jumped on that one, and I think we'll give the 5 yards right back. It was someone on the left side.
And unfortunately, I think it's Benka. That's not a way to start the game off the 2019 season.
No.
Yeah, they called it against
They called
Midland
it against
Lee.
maybe encroachment. Maybe they forced him to jump. So that's a 1st down. So it is now 1st and 10 without a play officially run. And we're out to the 35. The play clock begins as the Rangers break the huddle. Similar formation again, a receiver either way. Fortone, the tailback, goes to the right of Gombert. He'll slap it, take the snaps. Fortone going left. No, it's a fake. And it is hung on to by Gombert, who throws it out in the flat. It's incomplete, intended for Chandler Cole. Looked like the defender might have got there a hair early, but it is incomplete. It's 2nd and 10.
Now that's something that we're going to see a little bit different. And that time, Gombert just does a little bit of a bootleg. He fakes it to Fortone, rolls out to his right and trying to hit the receiver in the flat. That time, Carl Taylor, the free safety, all-state material for Midland Lee, came up and made the hit.
So a pair of running backs either side. Handoff comes this way. It's Eggleston. Tries to turn the corner right. Runs into a defender. Gets bumped. Gets pushed. All the way across the 40 now. So it'll be 3rd and about 4. A whole host of defenders. Down at the bottom was Tracy Mackey and several others along with Mr. Curry. Well,
that time the Midland Lee Rebels were in cover 3, so they had one of their safeties up in the box, and that play got some good yardage on 2nd down, but nevertheless, with that extra safety in the box, it's kind of a numbers game, Tony, and that time the Rebels were able to account for it.
Both receivers in tight, now one in motion. It's Eggleston. They fake it to him. Now Gombert over the middle, intended for Cole off the top of his fingertips and incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down from the 41-yard line. 4th and 4, and here comes the punt unit for the Rangers. Is a couple of passes. The first one, Cole was covered very well. That one he was open, and Gombert just missed him a little high, maybe too much adrenaline.
Well, probably a little bit too much adrenaline. And again, it was a high percentage play, and that's what you want to do for a young quarterback, his first varsity start, and that's what he tried to hit Cole on a little curl route, but the linebacker, Charlie Gonzalez, tipped it incomplete.
Low snap. The kick is low. A line drive gets a good roll. It'll go just inside the 20 before it finally comes down. Garrett Brooks with the punt. Goes officially 40 yards and no return, and the Midland Rebels will start from their own 19-yard line. Quarterback, again, as we mentioned, is Mikey Serrano. He again came off the bench in the game at Ranger Stadium last year and did just about everything it took to help them win. He'll send 2 receivers to either side, a spread formation, 1 lone setback beside him. Serrano, and there's a flag. Somebody moved early. Pressure had come in.
Yeah, I think one of the offensive linemen, I think, just jumped a little early. Couldn't tell who that was. Yep.
So the early jitters now 3 times go against the Rebels. So now 1st and 15 from their own 14-yard line. Same formation, 2 receivers either way. Play clock starts. Serrano calls for, gets the snap, looks right, wants to throw it right, pulls it down because he's got some pressure. No one was open. He'll get about 5 or 6 yards back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe 1 more, and that'll set up 2nd down and 9, and they'll try to hurry it up.
Yeah, hurry offense, spread offense, 10 personnel, 4 wide receivers. Now to go trips into the boundary.
Serrano this time hands it off. Nope, he keeps it. Nice fake, gets bumped after about a 4-yard gain. A good stop that time by Tanner Hoback, a defensive end, after a gain of about 5. Brings up 3rd and 4 from the 25-yard line.
They're going fast here, and staying with the same personnel package. Just now the back is offset to Serrano's left.
Snap. Serrano wants to throw to the flat. He completes it. Good tackle, though, will keep the receiver from getting far enough. It's Shamar Davis with the catch, but only a short gain of 2 yards out to the 28. It's now 4th and 2. And maybe 4th and 1, and it looks like the Rebels might go for it. They actually gave him better forward progress than I thought he might have gotten, and now the punt unit does come on for the Rebels.
Good defensive stop by the Smithson Valley Rangers. They're going basically 3 and out. If you include the penalty, it'd be 4 and out. But that's a good defensive stop to start the game with.
That all-world receiver, Fungi, he's also the punter. Somebody jumped on both sides. Their offensive line jumped, and then we jumped over the line. A low line drive with the wind at his back. And the Rangers will finally pick it up and tiptoe the sideline and get about 5 or 6 yards. Mason Livingston, maybe he got more than that, but flag, I think, will bring this one back.
Yeah, I think this is going to be against Smithson Valley. It's going to be 5 yards, and they'll pick up the 1st down, unfortunately.
Wait for the official's call.
Yeah.
Offsides against the defense. And on 4th and 1, that'll give the Rebels the ball again. Somewhere around the 33-yard line. See if our officials can make this work out correctly.
You know, something you typically will see the first game, or like what you mentioned, jitters, but also a lot of penalties. We've had 5 penalties and only 2 possessions, and that's pretty typical for first game of the year. Unfortunately for the Rangers, that offsides cost them a dear 1st down. Now the defense is back on the field.
Serrano wants to throw across the middle. Completed pass. Looks like that is Davis again, Shamar Davis, his 2nd catch of the night. He had 38 a year ago. This time 3 receivers go right, 4 wide receivers set. Snap. Davis keeps it after a fake of a handoff, gets back to the line of scrimmage before he's buried there by a couple of defenders. Looks like Frash was one of the first ones to hit him. Ball's at the 40. It is 3rd down and 3.
I'll tell you, Midland Lee do not change any personnel, any formations. They just keep coming at you with spread and 1 back, and they're going to run the same thing over and over.
Looks like a completed pass, but no, they say it's incomplete. So again, it's 4th down and 3.
Stay outside.
And the Rangers have a chance to receive the punt, this time from the 40. And again, it's Fungi with the punt. Better snap. Good kick, end over end, though, not utilizing the wind very much, but it does get a Rebel bounce and goes inside the 20, and it'll be down near the 15-yard line. So a good-looking punt from Fungi that covers a total of 43 yards with no return, and the Rangers will have it 1st and 10 from their own 16, and we'll keep it here with 8:08 to go in the first quarter. It is now one possession for each team. Not really a whole lot going on. They did get the only first down of the first quarter so far, and that was by penalty.
Yeah. Now to see what's going to happen. Everybody's got that first series jitters out on the first game of the year. Let's see now what the Ranger offense can do as their backs are against the wall here. 1st and 10 at the 15.
Gombert takes it, fakes the handoff, actually gives it to Fortone. The ball go on the ground. Some reaction as if though he dropped it, but it looks like he fell on it if it did touch the ground. The gain is a couple of yards to the 18. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Nice blocking that time, just man-to-man blocking that time by 63, Ryan Benka and Taylor Brooks to center. And they did a nice job of moving out their big nose tackle, Cameron Curry. That gave Fortone a nice little crease to make a few yards on the ball, on the gap.
So again, receiver either way, they're tight on the right side. Fortone coming left, has the handoff, goes around the edge, gets a couple of blocks on the perimeter, and gets across the 20-yard line to about the 22. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Rangers.
Critical 3rd down here. What do you do with Luke Gombert? I mean, do you give him a read option, some sort of RPO? You stretch the formation out with your formation? I don't know. This is going to be a good call.
Maverick Freeland, a junior, is in at wide receiver on one side, Tietzman on the other, both in tight formation. Gombert takes the snap. Fortone up the middle, has a crease, but then gets pushed back. Thought he had a seam that he might get there, but then the defense closed in a hurry. That's Young. Cameron Young again was there to put a stop to it.
Well, again, Midland Lee going in cover 3. That means that safety is up in the box. It really didn't have the numbers to be able to block all the defenders. And that time, the Lee Rebels just came up and made a nice big stop. I mean, it's just a numbers game.
Brooks again. Low line drive into the wind. Gets a little bit of a roll. It crosses midfield. Maybe will go out of bounds inside the 45. And that's where the Rebels will start 1st and 10, and we'll take a timeout. We'll be back with their possession on the Ranger Network.
Sunday nights on Access TV. Access TV's new series, Paul Schaefer Plus One.
It's the Howard Stern show, but no strippers.
Paul sits down with music's finest, followed by an all-new series, Brian Johnson's A Life on the Road. Brian sits down with music greats.
Just too good. Fabulous.
Sunday Night Rocks. It all starts 8/7 Central on Access TV.
Back to Grande Stadium here in Midland, Texas. The Rebels with the ball. Serrano wants to throw, looks down the field, a crossing pattern, dropped. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That one's going to go a long way. Evan Marilon had the ball go through his hands near the 20, between the 20 and the 25, and I don't know if he'd have been caught.
No, he was wide open, dragging across from the wide side of the football field. Across the field, he was wide open with his safety. That time, I believe it was Livingston trying to chase from behind. It was good play action pass back that time by Serrano, and he just missed. Well, he didn't miss the pass. Actually, the receiver just dropped it. But he was wide open. That could have been 6 points.
Sure could have. So everybody gets back in their spot. Not too much of a hurry up on that one because he had to come back. Serrano wants to throw again. He's looking down the left sideline. Now goes right to come back. It's Fungi. Catches it at the 45, then spins, runs away from the Rangers. Could be caught at the goal line, but isn't. Fungi, touchdown pass. That one of 60 yards. 45 yards, pardon me. 55 yards, pardon me. And the Rebels are on the board first. 5:53 to go in the opening frame.
Nothing fancy about it. I mean, it was just double slot. Fungi was in the inside position. He runs a post route and just outruns the defender, the safety that time, Jackson Sinney. And of course, Serrano had plenty of time to set his feet right through his possessions and hit that time Fungi on the post route, touchdown.
The kick is made by Gunnar Mead, and the kick is good. It's 7-0. The Rebels have stunned the Rangers here in the opening quarter. We're back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
Hi, Tara. It's me, Laura, Sunflower 82 from Online Yoga. Yes, I'd love to get together for a class with you. Why don't we do a class at my place?
I'll send you the address. I live in the back, down the stairs.
See you tonight. Can't wait.
Web of Lies, all new. Tuesdays at 9 on Investigation Discovery.
Watch Investigation Discovery, GVTC, Channel 520.
Midland, Texas, the site. The Rebels up 7-0. Almost 7 minutes, a little over 6 minutes actually of the first quarter. It was Serrano to Fungi from 55 yards. The kick good. And the Rebels have a 7-0 lead here in their home field against the visiting Rangers.
Yeah, Serrano had way too much time, Tony, to sit in the pocket and wait for Fungi to make his break. And if he would have had some pressure, he might not have been able to get off the pass. But nevertheless, it was great execution by the Rebels, and it's 7-0.
Early on, the Rangers got pressure on him, but on that possession in 2 different plays, it seemed like he had time to look around. That time he looked left long and then came back right to Fungi coming back for the ball. Again, it is Meade who will handle the kickoff chores for the Rebels. End over end kick with the wind at his back goes through the end zone, and the Rangers will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Well, it's going to be interesting how the Rangers now respond to some adversity. First quarter, big play to their #1 receiver, the #1 player on the team, Fungi, to see how now the Rangers respond offensively. See if they can just get some momentum, move the chains, get some points on the board.
I said before the game, Jeff, I thought what was really critical if the Rangers can get first downs tonight.
Yeah.
Not big plays, but constant plays. 1, 2, 3 play first downs. Here's motion by Howell going left. 2 backs either side. And this is Eggleston off a slant to the right. Gets a good gain, and that's a first down as he crawls across the 35-yard line. Should be 1st and 10 for the Rangers.
Good formation. It's 21 personnel, just zone read to Fortone, who just
Eggleston.
To Eggleston, excuse me, and he picked off his off the gap on the right-hand side. Good for a first down, and that was well executed. Defense was in cover 2, so you didn't have that extra man up in the box.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. A lone setback to the right of Gombert. He wants to throw. Straight drop back. Looking left, looking long. Has a man wide open. That is the newcomer, Maverick Freeman, and he's going to go to the distance. 65 yards. Maverick Freeland from Luke Gombert, and the Rangers have answered just like that. With less than a minute off the clock, they have scored an extra point to tie it.
Well, you talk about a confidence builder for Luke Gombert. He had plenty of time off the play action just to wait for the man to break free. And it it's just perfectly executed, and Gombert delivered a perfect pass. Good for 6 points. That's how you answer. That's a good answer. Good.
The kick is up, and it's also good. So the Rangers have come right back. It is 7-7 with 5:12 to go in the opening frame, and let's keep it here right now, Jeff. One of the things you want your football team to do, other than play well regularly, is answer big plays by the other team. Something we didn't see enough of last year, because this Smithson Valley Ranger team for the last half a decade or more has been a big play offense.
Right.
They haven't ground out first downs like I think this year's team might need to do. That's a big play in the midst of grinding out some first downs.
Well, remember that play probably set up by the first down, zone read to Eggleston that got 8 yards. So then you change the coverage, the defense makes a shift, and then a play action pass. Gombert had all day long to be able to wait for the receiver to break open, and all he had to do was just lay it in the breadbasket, and that's what he did.
Again, one of the things you've talked about, they rolled the pocket about 2 or 3 bodies to the right just to get him away from pressure, which might have been defensive,
from the left side.
Yeah, from your left side, yes. So now the Rangers will have to kick it off. Again, 5:12 in the opening frame. We played almost 7 minutes. It's 7-7 as the Rangers answer the Rebels first quarter score.
Well, now think about it, too. You travel 5.5 hours. What kind of fight does your team have? When the other team hits a big play to their #1 receiver, how do you answer? Well, the Rangers answered, and that looks really good.
Joaquin Rodriguez is the handler of the kickoffs. This one kind of short. They fake the switch or the handoff. The ball's on the ground. I think the Rebels have fallen on it, and it appears as they have. So it'll be 1st and down, 1st and 10 for the Rebels. That one they tried a little trickery with the ball going right. They tried to fake a handoff coming left, and then all of a sudden the man carrying the ball lost it.
Yeah, you try a trick play on the kickoff return, and sometimes that can blow up in your face. The Rebels were actually pretty lucky to get the fumble on that time because there was 2 Ranger defenders right around the ball. I don't know how he got it back.
So the Rebels come out 1st and 10 from their own 23. Serrano, 2 receivers either way, throws it quickly out to the edge. The ball is loose. I don't know if it'll be incomplete, and that seems to be the call. The receiver had it in his hands and got walloped. Was that Bessie?
That's Betsy. Yeah.
And a good play by the cornerback, Cullen Betsy, the senior, who had 30 tackles a year ago, made quite a hit there. So again, 2 receivers either way. Serrano takes the snap, straight drop back, has some pressure, lets it go long, looking for Fungi, and he overthrows him.
That's really good coverage inside out by Betsy on Fungi. Again, Serrano wanted to go deep, one-on-one, a vertical down the field because he knew he had man-to-man. Betsy did a good job staying in his inside hip. He looked for the ball when the ball was about to get there, had no chance of making that pass. No chance.
Rangers making a couple of subs on the defensive line, keeping bodies fresh. Looks like a 3-man front here. Double coverage either way. Well, no, just 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Pressure from the outside. Serrano's ball's tipped. It's intercepted. Is that Witcher who got a hold of it? He's still moving. No, it's Hoback, and he's running toward the left sideline. The Rangers get the first turnover of the game. Hoback on the tipped pass intercepts it, and the Rangers in Rebel territory.
Actually, that was Trey Moore that actually got his hand on the ball, but Hoback was right there, Johnny, on the spot to make the interception. Great field position now for the Rangers to take advantage.
So the turnover gives the Rangers ball at the Rebel 23. Again, the big defensive tackle now, Moore, who was an end last year, has moved inside, had 12 tackles for loss a year ago, 5 hurries and 2 batted balls. Has another one here tonight that Hoback was the beneficiary of. So Gombert with a receiver wide left, a couple of slots to the right. Fortone going left, gets some blocks, has a seam across the 15, the 10, the 5, bumped to the goal line. I don't think they'll mark him in. They'll stop him just before the goal line. But 1st and 10 for the Rangers.
That's the same formation, 20 personnel that they ran in the previous series. That Eggleston got 8 yards on this time. They give it to it the other side. Same formation, same play. They're really ripping it right in the D gap, right off the edge. That time, Fortone almost got into the end zone.
Rangers get the call from the sideline. Gombert with a running back either way. 1 receiver out wide. Everybody else is in tight. Gombert, hands off. This is Eggleston. No, it's Fortone. I think he's going to make it in, and he does. He's called in. Touchdown Rangers, 13-7, an extra point to come, and the Rangers have taken their first lead of the season with 4:02 to go in the opening quarter.
You bet. Take advantage of the tipped interception. 2 plays later, back in the end zone. Well, this is what we traditionally see from Ranger football.
There you go, JD. That's how you bring it.
So again, the extra point to come. Gombert is the holder. Cole, the snapper, the kick up, and it is good. 14-7. The Rangers have jumped out on top. 4:02 to go in the opening frame. We're back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
And that is an active koala.
Our goal is to end extinction.
It's an incredible feeling helping an endangered species.
There it is. Good girl.
When you're a Galapagos tortoise, there's no reverse. It's whatever you can do to get to the other side.
High five.
She's getting feisty right now.
Hopefully people want to get involved in conservation.
Knowing you're part of a bigger picture makes it that much more special.
The Zoo, San Diego. New Saturday at 9 on Animal Planet.
And we're back to Midland, Texas. The Rangers will kick off after grabbing a lead. 4:02 to go in the opening frame. It's 14-7. This game a year ago, people struggled to score early in the game, and we've got 21 points barely 8 minutes into this contest. Rodriguez with the kick into the wind, high end over end kick, fielded at about the 20. This time they hand it off. And here is a seam and some movement by Carl Taylor, a defensive back in key coverage, wiggled through the Rangers' kick coverage, gets it out to about the 34, 1st and 10 there for the Rebels.
Well, it was a short kickoff into the wind, like you said, Tony, but this gives them pretty decent field position, starting first down at their 34-yard line.
We've had wind at Ranger Stadium before, and we've seen the Rangers do this before, try to get down there and cover it. A high kick into the wind and try to cover it well, and they did that time. They just had a wiggle, but get him a few yards to the 34. Serrano, 2 receivers out. Now a handoff fake, and he slips out of a tackle. Now he slips out of a couple more. He's still running across the 40, a gain of almost 7 to the 41. Mikey Serrano, who ran a bunch of yards against the Rangers a year ago, 224 to be exact, got 7 that time as he broke several tackles.
Well, he's not a real big guy, 6'1", 180 pounds. He's 4'5" and a 40, but he is slippery. You got to make sure you wrap him up, and it takes a couple players to get him down.
Looks like they brought a little more personnel in here. And the handoff to Fungi. No, not Fungi. That is Shermer Davis. He's down the right sideline for a touchdown, and we're tied up again with an extra point to come.
Yeah, they brought in an extra running back there and 20 personnel. And again, they had more blockers than we had on the interior, defensive interior. It was just a numbers game, and it was wide open that time for the runner.
As big as Fungi is, we've seen tonight them throw to Shermer Davis several times, and this time they handed off to him. He's a quality back as well, caught 38 passes a year ago, even threw a touchdown pass. This time he gets a touchdown run of big proportion. 59 yards. The kick. This time it's not Fungi. It's their other kicker, which is Gunnar Mead. And the extra point makes it 14-14, a tie score with 3:11 to go in the opening quarter.
We're going back and forth. You wanted some offense today. Well, we're getting some offense. They're not grinding it out, first down, chain, move to chain type of offensive plays. These are big, explosive plays. One thing that I know the Smithson Valley Rangers and Coach Larry here, they pride themselves on explosive plays, but you don't want the other team to be doing it, and that's exactly, they're just swapping out explosive plays back and forth.
So we now have 28 points in the opening quarter. 14 all. 3:11 to go in the first frame. On a windy night here in Midland. The winds seem to be toning down just a little bit on several of the flags. But the Rebels will kick it off. Again with the wind at their back here in the first quarter. The Rangers will get the win in the second quarter and then again in the fourth quarter. So while you like to start with it, if you can endure the first quarter and have the second quarter with the wind at your back in a tie score or being up, that certainly bodes well for your chances.
And one thing we also commented too, the sun is setting behind the press box where it's now cast a shadow all the way over to the Smithson Valley sideline. They were looking right into the wind that first quarter, most of the first quarter, yeah, and you couldn't see.
So Mead will kick it off. This time kind of keeps it low. It'll bounce and be fielded. That looks to be a good-looking run back. Find a bump, and there's a flag, probably a hold, as it's brought out by Nutt to about the 32-yard line. But again, there was a flag, and we'll see what the call is.
Yeah. Pretty good run back that time by Nutt. Unfortunately, we may be penalized 10 yards on this.
Illegal block in the back. Looks like the penalty's about the 23, so the ball go back half the distance or to the 13.
I wouldn't be surprised, 13. Tony. We see this 20 personnel, two running backs. They call it 20 small, and it's a series of plays. that they've been working on all offseason and during the fall camp, and have been real successful with it. So far tonight, they've been successful too. It's something that maybe the Midland League coaches hadn't seen. It's caught them by surprise. So we'll see if they continue this.
Well, one back, two receivers either way. Everybody tight though. Gombert snap. Fortone goes left and forces himself ahead for a couple of yards across the 15. See, they'll mark him somewhere between the 16 and 17. It'll be second and about 7.
We see man-to-man blocking that time on the left side. Nathan Matsugumba and Devin Smith did a nice job getting a pretty good push there against the defensive line. Cameron Curry, who's no small man himself, about 300 pounds, and Tracy Mackey, the defensive end, who's 265. So good job by that left side of the Smithson Valley offensive line.
So Gombert, similar formation with one back. Gives it to Fortone coming this way. Gets across the, well, almost to the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 19, and that'll leave the Rangers with a 3rd down and 4 from their own 19. They need to get to the 23.
Well, that's a good-looking play, though. It really is. They got the fullback, Howell, number 44, so it's 20 personnel, and Howell comes across the
is that kind of like
it's kind of a counter lead.
Tray?
Yeah, the old counter tray, except now you got the fullback leading instead of pulling a guard.
Right. So 3rd down and 4, a single back beside Gombert to his right. 2 receivers wide on the right. Now Fortone goes to the left. They fake it to Fortone. They want to throw it. He's got some pressure, does Gombert. Now a man across the middle, and he throws it over the hands. Too tall for Chandler Cole. And the second time tonight, the Rangers have had a chance for a 1st down, but Gombert just overthrows the ball. And again, it is all kinds of energy out here tonight. Yeah. You can't blame him. He was forced out of the pocket, did a nice job of resetting himself before he made a throw and just overshot his target by a bit.
Just a bit. And Cole is not a small guy, 6'2", 185, but I think the reason why that ball kind of sailed high is because he had a defensive lineman, Nunez, number 41, right in his face, right as he's about to throw the football, so it probably went a little bit higher than he wanted to. He did have the open receiver, though.
And there's a kick into the wind, which won't go very far. That was kind of a sideways end over end that Brooks hit, and it looked to be caught by the wind a whole bunch, and it kind of knocked it down and sent it near the near sideline. With 1:30 to go in the opening frame, and the Rebels still with the win, start on the Smithson Valley 43-yard line.
Yeah, bad field position if you're thinking for Smithson Valley. Now the defense comes out on their own 44-yard line. This is a big set of downs right here. If they can hold them, keep them in punting situations instead of field goal situation.
4-man front. Looks like the right end might have lined up offsides. Now we jump offsides. Serrano takes the snap, gets hit. Good looking hit that time by the Ranger defense.
Frash.
It is Frash who make the hit first, but I think they're going to get a free 5 yards with the offsides.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had a safety blitz off the perimeter, the Smithson Valley defense, and that was a good call that time by Coach Craig Worcester. It was the right call, but just the blitzer was offsides. Good hit that time by
Frash.
By Frash, yeah, I'm telling you, he plays downhill. I like that as a Mike linebacker, going right off reading his keys and going filling right in the hole.
So 1st and 5, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left, a slot and a tailback right on the formation. Serrano fakes the handoff, keeps it inside the defensive end. Now he's loose across for 1st down yardage across the 30, then the 25, and he's got a nice gain and some extracurricular stuff at the end there. Nice looking play though at the end by Mason Livingston to bring him down. It's 1st down for the Rebels at the Rangers 24.
Again, zone read. This time Serrano just keeps it. He's slippery to tackle, and he picks up enough for the 1st down.
Serrano wants to pass, now throws it low. That time looking for Evan McMaryland, and he threw it at his feet or even lower, so it's 2nd down and 10 from, again, the 24-yard line.
Serrano had happy feet that time, Tony.
Yeah.
He never got his feet set in the pocket. That's why the pass went right in the dirt. It was a bad pass. He had an open receiver, just never got set.
3 receivers left, 1 to the right. The setback is to the left. Serrano gets the snap, fakes the handoff. Now he actually gave it up. The running back still running. My goodness. Oh, goodness. Quiros gets loose inside the 10, then inside the 5. It's 1st and goal from the Rangers 3. Ryan Quiros, the senior running back, hadn't really heard much of him tonight until that one, and he kind of busted that one open.
Well, usually he's a blocker for Serrano. This time Serrano gives him the football, and he squirts through for now 1st and goal on the 4.
Davis is the setback on 1st and goal. Actually, they snap it straight to Shamir Davis.
Yeah.
He'll just get a couple to the 1. It'll be 2nd down and goal from there.
Nothing fancy. That's just basically, shotgun formation. Quick snap to Davis, and he tries to go where the lead blocker is right now, Quiros, and Smithson Valley defensive line just stood him up.
So again, as the quarter ends, it's a 14-all score, but the Rebels are knocking. We're done with 1 quarter. We'll start the 2nd quarter after this timeout with the score tied at 14. This is the Ranger Network.
Many tales have been told of Africa, but none like this. This is our story. This is Serengeti.
Watch Discovery, GVTC, Channel 554.
The Rangers on the road tonight against a team that went 9-3 a year ago, won a couple of playoff games. The year before won 3 playoff games. So this is a traditionally powerful team here in the late 2010s. And they are a good football team again this year, laden with senior starters. And they have the ball on the goal line at the 1-yard line. It's 2nd and 1 as we start the 2nd quarter, tied 14-all. Davis again with all kinds of blockers in front of him. Actually, they snap it to number 30, and in for the goal line is Alejandro Salazar. So a little bit of a different look that time. Or is it 38, pardon me. That is Charlie Gonzalez. A linebacker, defensive lineman, gets the touchdown from 1 yard.
Well, it's just nothing fancy there. They just overload one side of the football with more blockers than what they have on defense, and that time Gonzalez just gets in for the go-ahead touchdown.
The kick is up and good, and the Rebels have taken a 21-14 lead. We've only played, 4 seconds of the 2nd quarter, and the Rebels have taken the lead here in Midland, and the Rangers will get ready to receive another kickoff here.
Well, I'll tell you what, field position is so important in football, Tony, and that whole series and that touchdown was set up by a poor punt, and in fact, where Midland Lee had great field position. So, again, everything is built upon the play before. And so when you have a negative play to say, or a botched punt, or really poorly punted football, you get your defense or their back against the wall. It's tough, especially against a good football team like Midland Lee.
So the Rangers have more work to do with this quarter, the wind at their back. The wind remains stout. I don't know that we estimated a whole bunch, but probably 20 plus most of the time. This time still at least 15 to 20 miles an hour.
That's considerable wind, so maybe this will be better field position.
It is Nutt and Eggleston, I believe, deep.
Yeah.
Kick is up in the air. Oh, really good kick. Fielded by Eggleston. Near sideline, gets hit, dragged down, and gets to the 25. Eggleston with a nice return that time, basically from his own goal line.
And he was tackled by Paco Maldonado, a senior linebacker wearing number 37, covering on the special teams. And the Rangers will have it 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Let's see what the Rangers can now. Can they not? Can they come back? Can they respond to?
Yeah,
can they answer again? Can they respond to this negative position that they've got themselves into?
Receiver wide either way, a tight end to the right, a slot to the left. A lone setback near Gumford. Fortone gets the ball coming left, turns it upfield, gets a nice run, spins, and here comes another flag.
It's going to be holding. I thought it was a good block actually that time by Taylor Brooks coming in, but they may catch him for holding. Good looking run. Again, what they're trying to do is overload and pull the guard, and with Howell leading through the hole, and then get the ball to Fortone. Unfortunately, it's going to come back.
First down, about an 8-yard penalty. So first down and 18.
Yep.
The hold occurred at the 27, so that's why the ball went back 10 from there. So Gombert, 2 receivers right, tight end in a slot to the left. Gombert throws quickly out to Eggleston on the right corner. Beats one defender, spins away from another, but barely gets back to the line of scrimmage as they'll mark him just short of the 25. The Rangers have second and long.
Well, again, that was just kind of that spread formation, trips formation. Eggleston's out there in the slot. They get a quick pass to him, see what he can do. He's one of the better athletes on the football team. He's extremely quick, has a lot of speed, and all he has to do is make one defender miss, and it could be touchdown city. And that time, it just didn't happen. Number 3, Carl Taylor, the free safety, came up and made a nice hit.
2 receivers come near side. Lone receiver on the right. Gombert throws it down the field, intended for Eggleston. I don't know that he ever really saw it, but he couldn't get to it, and it goes incomplete.
He had a step or two on the safety. I mean, if he could have just had a chance to get his eye focused back on the football, he might have been able to make that catch. But anyway.
The pass led him to the sideline, Smithson Valley sideline. I don't know that he saw that quick enough.
Well, he was trying to get around the safety,
right,
and I think he just lost focus of the ball, yeah.
So 3rd and 11 from the 24. Rangers really need a first down here in tough territory. Down by a score, 21-14 to the Midland Lee Rebels.
Watch a bootleg here.
Gombert, straight drop back, gets some pressure, tries to avoid it, tries to scramble, gets tripped up, gets a couple of yards to about the 27 or 28, but it'll be short, and the Rangers will have to punt.
Unfortunately, there was too much pressure off the edge by 44 defensive end Tracy Mackey. He came off the right edge and put too much pressure that time on Gombert, who had to just basically eat it and try to get as much as he could by running the football.
So the Rangers will punt. Brooks gets the snap. This is a low line drive, fielded at the 40. And a host of Rangers come there to knock down the return man, which again was Carl Taylor. But the Midland Lee Rebels, with even the wind in their face, get a good field position out to the 43.
Nice tackle that time by the tight end, Cole Chandler, too, getting down on punt coverage. Nice job.
So the defense will be called upon again to make some plays, to get a 3 and out if at all possible. From the 43, 1st and 10. Serrano hands it off. And almost thought the ball got loose, but it was a good-looking run by Quiros. Out across the 45 to, they'll mark him at the 48, a gain of 5. It's 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Padilla came up from his outside linebacker position, made a nice hit, but Quiros was able to spin off and get a couple extra yards.
Serrano hands it off. This time the running back finds nowhere to go. Nowhere at all.
That play had nowhere to go because it got blown up by Tanner Hoback coming in an inside gap, hitting the run. Basically, when Quiros got the handoff, that's when he got hit by Hoback.
3rd and 8.
Good play.
Hoback goes out as the Rangers continue to sub frequently here. Serrano, 3rd and 8 from the 45, wants to pass, has a man right sideline. They bump him, and I don't think they're going to call pass interference. That time it was Nutt who did a bump about the 40-yard line, and I don't know if the ball was in the air or not, but they're going to call it. They're going to call defensive holding, you think?
I think so.
Did he grab him or bump him? It was pretty obvious what he did.
I think he grabbed.
We'll see what the call is.
Now here it is, 3rd and long. So Midland Lee's behind the chain, so you know they are going to have to go downfield. and that was nothing more than a vertical. And you had inside, outside position between the corner and the safety. There was no reason to sit there and hold to grab him.
So the hold gives a first down to the Rebels. 2 receivers to the right, 3 to the left. He looks right, has a man. That time Fungi pushes off. Let's see the flag there. Nutt kind of cut him off by running up the field and beside him, and Fungi kind of shoved him down, and we didn't get a flag there, but you don't normally.
Mickey Serrano saw that Fungi had one-on-one cover with Nutt down here in the boundary. That's why he just sat back there and said, okay, I'm going to throw it up to the big guy and see if he can catch it. But Nutt did a good job. He had outside position on him.
Here's Davis on a handoff, gets spun down. Good-looking tackle that time by a couple of, it's Livingston, and it's also Zoig. So 2 Rangers shut him down there. It's 3rd and 7. Jamar Davis, to me right now, looks to be the guy they want to get the ball in his hands as much as they can. Now he'll split left with 2 receivers either side. The lone setback is to the right of Serrano. Looked like somebody leaned on the offensive line. No flag. Some pressure. Serrano lets it go long. It's for Fungi. He'll catch it and walk into the end zone. He is tackled at the end by Nutt, but that was a little too easy a pitch and catch as he got inside leverage on Nutt, and the ball was put in a perfect place.
Trips to the wide side of the field. You have Fungi one-on-one on the weak side into the boundary. All Serrano had to do is see, where's my mismatch? My mismatch is back to Fungi, who has a cornerback on his outside hip, run a post route, or what we call a 7 route. Again, Serrano just had to lay it in a breadbasket, and Fungi scores again.
The extra point is up and good. It is 28-14 after the Rangers took a 21-14 lead. I'm sorry, a 14-7 lead. Now, what's that? 21 points unanswered by the Rebels, and they've taken a 2-touchdown lead. 8:13 to go in the second quarter. We're back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
Good things come to those who wait. At QVC, we say better things come now. Get it now. Pay over time. No extra charge with Easy Pay. The best news, you can use it on everything. Yes, everything. All the great brands you love and new products you'll discover. So why wait? It's Easy Pay every day. Now through September 30th. Shop QVC and QVC.com.
We're back at Grande Stadium in Midland, Texas. The Lee Rebels have taken a 28-14 lead over the Smithson Valley Rangers.
All big plays too, Tony.
All big plays here in the second quarter. A couple of touchdowns by the Rebels. A big play set up a touchdown run of 1 yard. That time a long TD pass to Fungi, his second of the first half. 28-14 Rebels. They'll kick off. Low line drive, bobbled by Eggleston. Now he'll pick it up. Sideline of the Rebels, gets the sideline across the 30, pushed ahead across the 35 before he's gang tackled, but not until a good run back by Greg Eggleston, the senior who is being asked to do more offensively for the Rangers.
Well, let's see what offensive coordinator Jeff Shin and Larry Hill are going to dial up for the offense now. They've had some success running that little counter tray and 20 personnel, and actually Luke Gombert's had some success throwing the football short. So let's see what they can do to stretch the defense, keep them off guard, and just move the chains. Make some first downs, eat some time off the clock.
All right. Rangers kind of in tight personnel again here. Gombert. Handoff coming left. Fortone gets a block, then runs into a crowd of players. That is 27. Jasper Partridge, a backup on the nose tackle position, who fought through a couple of offensive linemen and just got in Fortone's way.
Yeah, well, that play was kind of too slow to develop, actually. When you're going against the Midland Lee defense, they've got a lot of speed, particularly at the linebackers and defensive line. You just had no chance of making that thing work. Looks like Jeff Shin is changing the play from the sidelines.
Gombert tells his offensive line to change. 3 receivers right, now 1 comes to the left. The Rangers call a timeout as the play clock was down under 5 seconds with 7:19 to go. In the second quarter, the Rangers trail the Rebels 28-14. We've got a timeout on the field. Back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
Stop at Fisher's Neighborhood Market for anything a Ranger could need. Whether you're heading to work, coming home from school, or just needing a break to grab something tasty, Fisher's Neighborhood Market is your one-stop shop. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Audio Jungle.
So the Rangers kind of spread 2 guys wide left, 2 backs in the backfield. Gombert calls for it, hands it off, straight up the middle. We got a first down. Ran like Fortone. We'll see who it was as he gets off the ground. It was Fortone. A good gain of almost, well, what is that, 5 or 6 yards to the 49 of Midland Lee, and it's a Ranger first down.
Yeah, now I think now their offensive coordinator Jeff Shin's doing a nice job of mixing up the formations and mixing up the plays where the defense is having to stay in cover 2. And this allows the opportunity to run the football.
Eggleston in motion in front of, now he goes and sets up on the right side. Play clock still at 10. Gombert tells his offensive line something else. The receivers split wide each way. Gombert hands it off. This is Fortone, does a nice wiggle at the line of scrimmage and ends up getting 4 or 5 yards to the 45. A gain of 4 makes it 2nd and 6.
It looked like Fortone, his original hole was covered up, so he just bounces outside. Ned did a nice job picking up 5 yards where maybe he didn't have any yards to gain on that punt.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Kind of put that left foot in the ground and moved to the right and got a hole. Good enough for 4 yards. 2nd and 6 from the 45 of Midland Lee. 2 receivers left. Gombert fakes the handoff, throws it to Eggleston on the edge. Has some room across the 40. Tiptoes the sideline inside the, well, right to the 35. That'll be good enough for another first down on a good-looking play of about 10 yards through the air.
Yeah, well, when you're ahead of the chains, you can do things on the perimeter and mix it up a little bit, see? Because you're not 2nd and long, 3rd and long. You're actually 2nd and short. So now Jeff Shin, the offensive coordinator for Smithson Valley, he can really open up the playbook.
Sideline sends in the play. Receiver left, 1 right, both in tight. Fortone right of Gombert. Fortone fakes the handoff left. Gombert gets away from pressure, looks for someone open. No one's really open, and he just throws it out of bounds in the end zone. Lives for another play.
Yeah. Smart move that time by Luke by just realizing all of his, on that bootleg, all of his receivers were covered. The drag receiver was covered by the linebackers, and the deep one was covered by the safety. So instead of trying to force it or take a sack, he just throws it out of bounds. That's managing the game, and that's what we expect from someone who hasn't played a lot, but now it's his first start. Just manage the game.
When he spun and got away from pressure, Eggleston was at the goal line, but he was well covered. And then I think it was Howell was the tight end dragging across that was also covered. So 2nd and 10 from the 35. Similar formation. Gombert gives it to Fortone up the middle. Fights for 4 or 5 yards to inside the 31. We'll call it the 30. A gain of 5 makes it 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, now it's a big 3rd down and 5, almost 6.
Almost.
Yeah. So do you spread the formation out and give it in Eggleston's hands? He's the playmaker for the Rangers.
What we haven't seen tonight, we've seen it faked, I think twice, is the wide receiver sweep.
Yep.
We haven't seen that happen tonight. I don't know that we will here either. 2 backs now, 2 receivers right, a back to either side of Gombert. 3rd and 5. He gives it to Eggleston, coming left, finds a seam, gets a first down, gets across the 20 before he's dragged down by Carl Taylor, but not until the Rangers get another first down.
Nice execution on that run, and I tell you, a really good block, Tony, by Austin Howell, who lined up as a fullback in the wing position. He took his man down. That was a really good-looking play. Now hole opened up. Nice block by Howell.
The 9th play of the drive at the 17-yard line. 4:50 to go, 2nd quarter. The Rangers down 2 scores, but would dearly love to get a touchdown here. In fact, it's almost a must touchdown in this situation if you want to stay in the game. Gombert surveys the field, has a back either side of him. Looks like they give it to Fortone coming left. Not a whole lot of room. He gets maybe a yard to the 16 before he's shoved down by a bunch of defenders, including strong safety Anthony Gonzalez.
Yeah, and also that time Damian Garcia, the outside rover, kept his outside position. Therefore, Fortone had nowhere really to go.
So from the 16, it's 2nd and 9. Rangers exchange some personnel from the sideline.
Tell you what, the Midland Lee defense looks like they're a little winded because they haven't played this many plays in a row, and that's what you want.
So a back stays to either side of Gombert. 2 receivers wide right. Fortone up the middle, gets one through one defender and keeps his balance enough to get to about the 12. A gain of, we'll say, 4 yards, sets down a 3rd and 4.
Oh, that play had a lot of potential if Eggleston could have just stayed on his block a little bit longer. His man basically peeled off the block and made the tackle. But here we go, 3rd and 5 again, Tony. Crucial play here. This is a crucial down.
It is a crucial down. Gombert has Fortone to his left, 3 receivers to the right, a slot and 2 standing up, or a tight end and 2 standing up. Now the play change comes in. Gombert, play clock down below 5, snaps it. Fortone up the middle, finds a seam outside, jumps all the way to the end zone. It's a touchdown. A touchdown. Jacob Fortone, the senior, muscles his way into the end zone when he found contact inside the 5, and the Rangers are back within a score with an extra point to come.
Well, that's good coaching right there, because I guarantee you the coaches on the sideline for Smithson Valley saw that the Rebels had no corner support on the right-hand side, and that's exactly where Fortone run the football. Good for a touchdown.
Extra point try from Joaquin Rodriguez. Snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is good. And it's 28-21. The Rangers down by just 1 score now with 2:59 to go in the second quarter. The wind's still at our backs. There's a timeout on the field. We'll be back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
Is someone in here with us?
Ghost Hunters is back with a new team, better tech, and more answers.
This is my favorite part of the night.
We had to flee our home.
I've been doing this for 30 years. I chase the truth. Only with the truth can I truly help someone.
Whoa! Ghost Hunters returns Wednesdays at 9 on A&E.
Well, we're back to Midland. 2:59 to go in the first half. Second quarter action from Grande Stadium. The Rangers with an 11-play, 64-yard drive, capped by Fortone's touchdown run, and it's 28-21. The Rebels up by 7.
Beautifully called, beautiful calls in that last drive, Tony. Really well executed. And I go back to that one play on that bootleg where Humbert just didn't, he didn't give up the football. He just threw it out of bounds instead of trying to make something out of nothing.
End over end kick with the wind at his back will sail through the end zone, and the Rangers will watch the Rebels start 1st and 10 from their own 25. On what might be the last play of the first down, if the Rebels can get at least 1 first down. But the Rangers hoping to turn it over here. A little 3 and out might give them a chance for another score here in the closing minutes of the second quarter.
Well, if you tackle them and force them to, in other words, it depends on what happens on first down. Actually, when Smithson Valley, Coach Hill wants to use his timeouts to stop the clock, give his offense back on the field in a favorable situation.
2 receivers either way. Serrano wants to throw it. Has a man across the middle. Good defense that time. A great pass breakup. By Blake Bowman, a backup safety. Got a hand on that as the pass was intended for, I think it was Davis, and he's knocked it down.
Davis dragging across the middle, and you're right. Great play by the safety, just keeping his inside position and knocking the ball down. It's good execution.
Serrano looks for the play call. The scoreboard says we called a timeout. Do you remember us calling a timeout, Smithson?
1 timeout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Serrano hands it off, and that is Quiros.
That's Trey Moore all over that.
Yeah. Trey Moore with a nice stop. Quiros barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure he does. He lost a yard on good defensive penetration by the junior tackle.
Trey Moore is one of those athletes that, you know what, when they go 3 down, they can put him in 2-point stance and let him play a little linebacker. He's that good of an athlete, or he can play against in the defensive line and make a big stop like that.
Moore seems to, well, the defensive line kind of switched around a little bit. Moore's on the left end right now. Hoback went out earlier as he's on the right end.
Right.
Got Witcher inside, and that is that Seminaro.
Right now, Midland, they're just trying to drain the clock.
Okay.
It's third down and 12. They're just trying to drain the clock right now.
So we'll keep it here during this one. 2:05 to go, second quarter. Rebels up 28-21.
Little strategically strategy here playing by both head coaches. Midland Lee not even having a chance of getting that first down. Now it's third down and long. Just wanted to drain the clock a little bit, because if they don't pick up the first down, they got to get the ball over to Smithson Valley. They want to have Smithson Valley have as less time as possible.
Indeed they do, as I don't know if they've sensed the long drive taken some momentum. I feel like the Rangers feel like they got a little momentum with the lengthy drive, but
I would say
they still lead by 7. I'm surprised they're not being any more aggressive.
Aggressive? Well, me too. But you know what? I do sense the momentum has shifted over on the Ranger side after that long drive, to your point. And right now they're in the Midland Lee. They're at third and long. They see themselves basically running just a basic play and then punting the football over.
So Rangers switch up. They got a 3-down line now. Kinds of guys to cover. Try to drag someone short, and there's pressure in the backfield, and they'll sack Serrano back inside the 15.
That's Trey Moore again.
Goodness, Rangers fired up defensively. Hoback was there too, along with Trey Moore, and the Rangers put a stop to the drive. They'll mark it back to the 15. It'll be 4th and 20.
Let me tell you, Trey Moore is going against number 71, Eric Cisneros, and 67, Zach Heller. He's usually double teamed because they went 3 down linemen that time.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he just split them. And both of those offensive linemen from Italy, they're really good. They're seniors. One of them's an all-state material. And Trey Moore just beat them both.
Play clock will go down. Well, they call another timeout here as they're trying to get the game clock under 1:20.
Yeah.
They will call a timeout. 1:15 to go. Well, the clock ran a little more than it should have. 1:14 to go. We'll see if they change that, because it should be 1:16 when the clock ran out. So the timeout should have been called in. But we'll see if they put it back on. It doesn't matter at this point, I guess, unless you're a Smithson Valley fan.
Yeah, that has to be called down the field by the judge who's keeping the time on the field. I don't think they're going to do it.
I don't think they will either. So the second timeout called by Midland Lee stops the clock at 1:14. They'll punt from their own 15-yard line into the wind, which has died down immensely on every one of the flags that I see. So probably less than 10 miles an hour at this point.
Yeah.
But it's still the wind. And the Rangers will send Mason Livingston back to cover. So the Rangers will get the ball somewhere around a minute to go here in the second quarter, down by 7 points. The snap to Fungi almost goes over his head. Good adjustment. Backing up, he kicks it. A beautiful kick. Livingston will field it at midfield and make a fair catch there, and that's where the Rangers will start. With 1:07 to go in the first half, down by 7. Rangers have 50 yards to go for more pay dirt.
Well, if Fungi wasn't 6'5", he probably wouldn't have gotten that snap, because that snap was going way high over a typical punter's head.
If he is a typical punter, and I don't care how tall he is, if he's not as athletic as Fungi
he wouldn't have gotten that
he
snap.
doesn't back up and catch that one above his head.
And then he gets off a 50-yard punt almost.
40 yards on the punt. Rangers will start at their own 49. See if they can put together a shorter drive. How about 1:07? Fortone the lone setback. Gombert across the middle, intended for Tietzman. All kinds of coverage there. And that was a dangerous pass for Tietzman.
Yeah, that really was.
Is that Franco? Somebody got shook up.
Luke Gomber probably should think about throwing it into that coverage right there where the safety's sitting there waiting for that slant pass. That probably had no chance of getting in there.
It might have been Anthony Gonzalez who got kind of shook up on the play. Looked like he hurt a hand. So on 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass, the Rangers will go again from the 49. Gombert with one back to his left, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Gombert now looks, he's looking long, throwing long. That's Tietzman. Does he get it to him? And just a half a step beyond the senior Eric Tietzman, or that would have been an easy score for the Rangers. Luke really frustrated that time. He thought he laid it out perfectly. A little more air and maybe he could have run under it, but that was a good-looking pass nonetheless.
It sure was. It rolled out to his left and throw back to the right, and Tietzman just beats the free safety. They're in cover 3. And he was wide open, and unfortunately, just Luke Gombert, Luke just kind of put a little bit too much on it.
Now you got to get a first down to keep the drive going because you don't want to have to punt. So 3rd and 10 from the 49.
Run.
Gombert fakes it to Fortone, rolls to his right, has a little bit of, now he's throwing it back to Fortone, left sideline, and he can't catch it. Goodness. 3 incomplete passes, and the Rebels will get the ball back after the Rangers will have to punt.
Well, you can't blame Luke Gombert for being a little bit frustrated. He laid that right in Fortone's hands. I don't know what happened on that, but that was a good-looking play.
It was.
Well executed, except you just have to come up with the reception.
Yeah, all you got to do is make it. So it's Brooks, the punter. Snap is good, and there's an early whistle. Maybe they called a timeout as the – well, I think Lee called a timeout.
Their last timeout, yep.
A little surprised by that one. Thought you might want to keep one in your pocket in case you get a first down play or something.
Well, I think look at how their accomplishments have been off of big plays.
Yeah.
Just throw it down the field to Fungi. I mean, do you really need a timeout in your pocket?
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Or do you think they're setting up maybe a return here? The wind that was at the Rangers' back is now kind of more sideways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's picked up a little bit, but it's more sideways than at the Rangers' back.
Well, I'd definitely kick it away from there was the 2 deep guys, Taylor especially.
Yeah.
Back here on the left-hand hash.
Brooks is more of that rugby-style kick, and it'll angle out of bounds inside the 25 at about the 23. Take off about 2 seconds off the game clock.
Yeah, in that situation, I just don't see that that's a big advantage. If you're going to kick it out of bounds, kick it rugby style, but just keep it in the field of play. Let that clock run down.
So the Rangers defense obviously needs to prevent any kind of a big play. It's 1st and 10 from the 25. Rebels Serrano with 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. The one on the left just moved. Serrano hands it off, and no room there.
Well, that's really good defense that time.
That was Young, Mikayla and Young.
Yeah, Zoa goes out there too. And I'm going to tell you that.
We got an injured player down here. It looks like that's Nutt. Hobbled up, maybe a cramp. Looks more like a cramp than anything else at this point. As he just, the trainer's out to kind of pull his toes back.
Yeah. Livingston comes out. I guess he'll replace him on the corner. Well, good defensive play that time. That play had no chance of gaining anything because great pursuit, particularly by Zoig from his outside linebacker position, and kept his outside position, strung the ball out. Ball carrier had nowhere to go. In fact, he lost yardage. Yeah, it does look like a cramp.
So Nutt will go to the sideline and get rehydrated as we're waiting for him to cross. The play clock down to 30 seconds to go as that play went out of bounds.
Well, you've got a situation where Fungi's 6'5", and you've got Livingston, who's 5'11", down here, or 5'10", excuse me. They're playing a little zone, though.
Rangers with a 3-man front, no doubt will blitz someone. We'll see who it is as they try to put pressure on Serrano. He'll throw it quick out to Fungi, runs into his own man, then gets wrapped up and shoved out of bounds after a gain, what is that, 4 yards maybe to the 22. Clock stops at 24 after the ball goes out of bounds. I think forward progress. Now they do wind the clock. The forward progress was stopped before he was shoved out of bounds. So the clock runs, and
Larry Hill called timeout.
Larry Hill calls a timeout. Third and about 15. Ball's at the 21. So the Rangers now.
I don't think either team's done a good job with clock management towards the end of the second quarter here.
Well, the second quarter seems to be dragging just a bit. Yes, it does. As both coaches have tried to utilize every timeout at their disposal. Rangers still have one left. 24 seconds to go. They've got to have one more stop and then receive a punt as time's basically running out would be my guess. I guess they would run the ball here.
Well, he's thinking he wins at your back. You got them back in their 20-yard line. Get some decent field position or at least go for a block. One of the two.
Yeah, maybe so. Fungi's out to the Rebel side. Serrano now, play clock running. Calls for the snap, gets it, hands it off. That is Quiros. Not much yards. Rangers call a timeout as he gets about 4 or 5 yards to the 26.
Zoe again on the tackle.
17 seconds to go. The Rebels will have to punt after the timeout. Guessing this will be a short timeout, as most of them have been here in the late going.
Well, I guess this isn't what we expected. We thought that we'd see more offense, but and we have. There's been a lot of points on the board the first half. A little different than it was this time 12 months ago in Smithson Valley when these two teams met. But what we predicted, you have Fungi, you had Serrano, your two best offensive players. They're making plays. For us, basically it's by committee. It's not one player. It's really how you're executing the football offensively. Different personnel packages, different formations, and Luke Gomer's doing a good job managing the football the first half, and we got a nice ball game.
So the Rangers, with 17 seconds to go, send Livingston back to their own 45. Fungi, the punter, saved him last possession with a bad snap. The snap is much better. He fields it and kicks it quickly. This one low, though, end over end. Gets stopped and out of bounds in Rebel territory. I think they'll mark it about the 47 of Midland Lee, and 9 seconds to go. The Rangers have a chance for a couple of plays.
Well, you're in position to maybe throw the football, get out of bounds, and then get your field goal team on the field and try a long 50-yard field goal. Which, if you look at the Smithson Valley field goal kicker, Joaquin Rodriguez, he is good at 50, 55 yards. And with a little bit of wind at his back, this may be an opportunity for him to do so.
Running back to either side of Gombert from the 47. Short back, drop back, a little flea flicker, and a first down yardage inside the 40.
1 second left.
With 1 second to go. I think that was Cooper Douglas who made the catch. Or got the pitch. And the play clock goes out because the clock does restart after the first down ball is spotted. And the Rangers will run out of time. So we go to the locker room at halftime. It is 28-21, Midland Lee on top. The Rangers fought after falling down 6-0, tied it at 7-7, then went up briefly 14-7. Then the Rebels scored 21 unanswered points, and the Rangers scored the last touchdown of the quarter on a nice drive with about 4 minutes to go in the quarter, and then we took about 30 minutes to play those last 4 minutes. And we're at halftime with the Rebels leading this one by the score of 28-21. Full bunch of halftime activities for you here from Grande Stadium in Midland, Texas. We're back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
Stop at Fisher's Neighborhood Market for anything a Ranger could need. Whether you're heading to work, coming home from school, or just needing a break to grab something tasty, Fisher's Neighborhood Market is your one-stop shop. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Audio Jungle. Hi, Tara. It's me, Laura, Sunflower 82 from Online Yoga. Yes, I'd love to get together for a class with you. Why don't we do a class at my place?
I'll send you the address. I live in the back, down the stairs.
See you tonight. Can't wait.
Web of Lies, all new. Tuesdays at 9 on Investigation Discovery.
Watch Investigation Discovery, GVTC, Channel 520.
Good things come to those who wait. At QVC, we say better things come now. Get it now. Pay over time. No extra charge with Easy Pay. The best news? You can use it on everything. Yes, everything. All the great brands you love and new products you'll discover. So why wait? It's Easy Pay every day. Now through September 30th. Shop QVC and QVC.com.
Is someone in here with us?
Ghost Hunters is back with a new team, better tech, and more answers.
This is my favorite part of the night.
We had to flee our home.
I've been doing this for 30 years. I chase the truth. Only with the truth can I truly help someone.
Whoa! Ghost Hunters returns Wednesdays at 9 on A&E.
Both teams have made their way back to the playing area.
Looks like the wind's picked back up too. And the Rangers will have the wind at their backs the fourth quarter.
Well, not if they kick off going this direction.
Right.
They're going to take
third quarter.
They took the win, or they took the ball, so we'll take the win and have it in the third quarter. And let's see if we can just make sure that doesn't make a difference and just put some drives together. So the first half started with time still on the clock. Time has run out here in the second half, and we're still not on the field, although the Rebels take the field first. Fungi and Taylor go deep for the Rebels. And Joaquin Rodriguez will handle the kickoff duties from the Smithson Valley sideline here to start the second half.
Coach Hill probably said, whatever you do, Mr. Rodriguez, don't kick it to number 11, right?
Exactly. Kick it through the end zone.
There you go.
That one looks like it will. Taylor fields it, and they're going to run it out. Taylor takes it across the 10, breaks a tackle, then gets tripped up at the 20, and he'll go down there, and the Rebels will start 1st and 10 from the 21. Which is not as good as they would have done if they'd have just downed it deep in the end zone.
Yeah, typically when you catch the kickoff 5 yards deep in the end zone, you down it.
Typically.
But Taylor, he's got a lot of speed. He took it out and made something out of nothing. And but to your point, they're starting at 21 instead of 25.
They obviously aren't concerned.
No, they're going to play ball.
So the Rebels start 1st and 10. Second half action, they're up by 7. Serrano keeps it after a fake handoff, gets bumped, breaks a tackle, breaks another, across the 25, maybe to the 27. A gain of about 6, brings up 2nd down and 4.
Starting off with the zone read again, and Darlington Frosch had a chance to tackle him in the backfield, but Serrano just slipped out.
3-man defensive front. Serrano hands it off again to Caros. I'm sorry. Well, yes, Witcher with the tackle. Short gain of about a yard makes it 3rd and 3, and the hurry-up offense now back in style for the Rebels. 2 receivers left, 1 right. A little bit of a blitz action as Serrano pulls it down, gets pressure, gets bumped, overthrows the receiver. Might have been intercepted, but I don't think we hung on to it, and that'll go incomplete.
Midland Lee's sending out their punt team. Well, that's a huge 3 and out for the defense for Smithson Valley here starting the second half.
And the wind, which was strong, is now weak again as they get ready to punt. The wind is kind of can't make up its mind. Punt formation, Rangers put 10 guys on the line. Will they try to go after him? No one gets especially close, and Fungi gets a good kickoff, and it gets a nice roll for the Rebels. It'll go all the way inside the 20-yard line. So a monster punt of over 50 yards, 48 yards exactly. So Rangers will start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, credit Fungi that time with a huge punt, like you said, because it just flipped the field position in favor of Midland Lee now, because otherwise you get the Smithson Valley get the ball around the 40, their own 40, 45-yard line. Now they're back at the 20. That's flipping the field.
That is indeed. The Rangers will bring a unit out that had some good looks in the first half. Gombert with a running back either side of him. One receiver wide to the right. Howell a left along with another receiver there. Hand off to Eggleston. Tries to bounce it outside but gets brought down by a whole host of defenders. The first one there looked to be defensive lineman. Well, you tell me. Was it Gonzalez, the linebacker?
It was also Trent Lowe.
Trent Lowe, yeah, the Sam linebacker.
Yep.
Got in there and wrapped him up and wouldn't let him get anywhere. A loss of 3. So 2nd and 13 from the 17-yard line. Rangers really need to put some offense up here in the early part of the third quarter because the wind is at their back. They need to take advantage and get some first downs.
Absolutely. Get the momentum back to second half on your side of the football field by moving the chains, getting yourself out of your back of your end zone here.
Fake to Fortone. Gombert throws a pick. Taylor picks it off inside the 20, near the sideline, still on his feet. Finally brought down inside the 10.
That was a really good play that time by Taylor, playing free safety and just baiting that throw. And just waited till Gombert was ready to throw the pass, and he just stepped right in front of the receiver. Again, it's that reverse bootleg. You have 2 receivers, one dragging shallow, one dragging deep. And if there's no one open, again, manage the game. Just throw the football away or try to run the football and get as much as you can.
So is it safe to say he didn't see Taylor?
I guess he didn't see him because Taylor was baiting him the whole way.
Yeah.
The whole way.
He had his receiver picked out on what he thought was single coverage. He made the throw, and Taylor just jumped in front of it.
You just can't force it in there.
So the big play of the second half in the opening 2 minutes is made by Midland Lee. The pick by Carl Taylor sets them up 1st and 10 from the 5. Serrano wants to run it. Gets spun around and knocked down. Good play by Malachi Lane, sophomore linebacker. Brings up a 2nd and goal from the 3, a gain of 2 on the run. They look to the sideline for the play.
Watch for the fade route down here to Fungi. He's man-to-man.
Motion coming right. Serrano fakes and then runs up the middle. Touchdown.
Too easy.
Mikey Serrano.
Just read option that time. He saw his one-on-one, but he took the snap. Zone option. Serrano kept it right off tackle in the end zone, untouched.
So 2 plays from the 5, 2 runs. Touchdown by Serrano makes it, with the extra point, it'll be 35-21. Looks to be Meade with the extra point try, up and good. It is 35-21. And again, the Rebels are up by 2 scores. 9:19 to go in the third quarter. We're back after this timeout on the Ranger Network.
3, 2, 1, here we go.
Welcome to our NASCAR Race Hub.
From the green flag at Daytona to the checkers of Homestead.
In the car.
That close might get you on Race Hub.
Under the hood and hanging with the drivers.
A little love fest here. Gordon, Harvick, Canal, and of course the champ.
We've got the drama.
Get the heck out of the way.
The science.
2 levels of analysis and storytelling for the sport.
NASCAR Race Hub. Weeknights at 6 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
Midland Lee takes a 2-score lead at 35-21 after the interception of Luke Gombert. Set them up first and goal from the 5. Rangers will go back on offense. Eggleston and Livingston are back for the kickoff. As again,
he's kicking into the wind.
Gunnar Mead.
Hopefully the wind will play a havoc on this kickoff.
It'd be fun if it would do something funky for us. From GCOM Stadium. Low line drive, hits once, hits twice, fielded by Livingston at the 14. Goes far sideline across the 30. Avoids a defender up to the 40 and across the 40-yard line before he's finally knocked down. Rangers will have first and 10 from there. As we've played almost 3 minutes of the second half, the Rebels have taken a 2-score lead at 35-21.
Good job that time by, I think, the whole Smithson Valley return team. Getting their blocks, staying on their blocks, and Livingston just picking his alley. Made a nice run out of it. Restarts his offense on their 40-yard line. Just good field position to start this series.
Much better field position as we expected on the punt, but didn't get. 2 receivers come to the left side. Back either side of Gombert. Fakes it, hands it to Eggleston, going right. Tries to get outside, cuts it up and in just past the hash. Gets about 4 yards up to the 44. Mickey Hinojosa in on the tackle. It's 2nd down and 6.
I think it's real important now that the Smithson Valley offense take control of this game. Establish some sort of drive, Tony, and just eat some time off the clock. Let the defense regroup, figure out what they need to do. But more importantly, just get down and get in the end zone, but take some time off the clock. Establish a drive.
Kind of like imposing your will in the midst of a game and saying, hey, we're here to stay. Fortone the lone setback, a receiver either side. Fortone gets it going right, tries to cut it up inside as Eggleston did. This time he gets a couple of yards to the 46. That will set up a 3rd down and 4.
Well, those are 2 runs in a row that go over to the right side into the boundary, and there really isn't a whole lot of room there for the running backs to get a whole lot to get a lot going on because the play strings out. It's too slow. It's getting stringed out by the defensive line, who seems to be doing a better job of controlling their gap integrity during the second half.
Same formation with 2 receivers wide left. Gombert takes the snap, straight drop back, looking for a receiver over the middle, and it's bobbled and not caught. Luke Gombert has had problems tonight. One of them has been dropped passes. Will Ford, the intended receiver, who didn't hang on to the 3rd down pass, and it's incomplete, setting up 4th down for the Rangers.
That was just a little curl route by the inside receiver Ford, who was split into the boundary in a slot position, and Gombert did a nice job of just putting the ball right in his chest. Unfortunately, Ford just couldn't hold on to it.
Brooks, the rugby-style kick is low line drive, gets a good bounce. Rangers can track this one down inside the 10. Maybe it looks like they touched it at about the 10, so don't know if they'll mark it down there.
At the 6.
At the 6 or 7, they'll spot it. Looked like he kind of knocked it down as it was bouncing up about the 10. But they'll spot it at the 7, and that's where the Rebels will start 1st and 10 after the punt, which was a good one by Brooks. Totaled, what is that now? Almost 50 yards.
Almost 50. Well, that's flipping the field in favor for the Smithson Valley Rangers now, where you have Midland Lee starting at their own 7-yard line. If they can get 3 and out like they did the first possession, the second half, this puts Smithson Valley in a very favorable situation now to get their offense back on the field, put some points on the board.
Going with that 3-man front again. This Quiros,
nice.
Boy, he got stacked up by a bunch of defenders. See if I can catch the number. Witcher, one of those, also looked like Blake Bowman was in on the tackle.
Yeah. Richard was the first one who really stacked it up and made the initial hit. I tell you, he's played a good game so far.
Bowman's in there because Livingston's playing a corner now.
Yes.
As Nutt went out with what we thought was a cramp. It still could have been, and he still might be not hydrated enough to get back into action. So again, a 3-man front. This time Serrano keeps it. Gets piled up as he forces his way to about the 10. It'll be 3rd down and a long 7.
He didn't, nothing fancy with that. Padilla and Witcher back in on the tackle, and this time Serrano just, again, it's a zone read, but after he pulls the ball from the belly of the fullback, he just follows the fullback as a lead blocker. At that time, Witcher and Padilla did a nice job stepping up. Now it's 3rd and long. Big down now for the Smithson Valley defense.
Jacob Perez also in the secondary for the Rangers. 2 receivers either side. Serrano wants to throw. A little bit of pressure coming in. Now he escapes it and gets hit from behind. Nice job. Is that
Trey Moore, isn't it?
Trey Moore with the sack. And the Rebels will have to punt from the 10.
What a great, that was good technique that time by Trey Moore, who lined up on the outside edge. There was 3-man rush. He was taking on the offensive right tackle, and as Serrano, stepped up into the pocket, Moore just chased off and made a big hit. I mean, he did a great job.
Rebels a little late with one of their punt cover folks.
They'll get the punt off.
Play clock at 1 as they almost snap it over Fungy's head again. This time a low line drive.
Oh, I might have been blocked a little bit. Touched.
Livingston picks it up at the 30, scrambles away, avoids a tackler, now wiggles across the 25. The Rangers will have great field position here on a punt after a bad snap. Fungy struggled to get that one away, and the Rangers are inside the 30-yard line, I think, at the 25, 1st and 10 for them.
There wasn't a punt block called, but it was such a bad high snap, and Fungy was off balance. He didn't get his foot really into it, and it looked like it was so low it might have hit somebody.
Yeah, I didn't see contact, but it certainly looked ugly.
Yeah.
As he did not connect with it well. Now the Rangers in position, still down by 2 scores, 35-21. Gombert with Fortone to his left. Takes the snap, gives it to Fortone. Straight up the middle, has a little seam, gets 3, maybe 4. They'll mark him at the 22. A gain of 3 brings up 2nd down and 7.
Well, there's a lot of beef in that offensive line and defensive line struggling that last play. Brooks and Benka did a nice job pushing the line as much as they could because Fortone didn't have a whole lot, but there was enough push by the offensive guard in the center to get at least 3 yards out of it. That Cameron Curry, I don't have his weight, number 99, the nose guard for the Rebels, but he is big.
He's big. He's got some weight. A back either side of Gombert now. 2 receivers wide left. Handoff up the middle. That's Fortone. Has near 1st down yardage. I think they'll mark him down at the 16, which will be about a yard away. It'll be 3rd and 1 after the 6-yard gain. And again, they're starting to get some momentum on the offensive line, getting some push. And that's good news for the running game here, just past the midway point of the 3rd quarter.
Tony, you sense there's a little bit of sense of urgency now by the offense to say, that's enough, guys. Just take control of this football game. We got great field position. Just get in the end zone.
We talked about imposing will, and right now this offensive line is starting to do that. 4:10 to go on a running 3rd quarter clock. Play clock at 10. Gombert sets the offensive line. Fortone the only setback. Snap to Fortone up the middle, wiggles right, gets a 1st down inside the 15. Clock will stop with a 3-yard run. And we'll call it a 2-yard run to the 14. It's 1st down.
They keep going back into the boundary on the right side. That's behind Ryan Benka and Taylor Brooks and also Donnie Bell. That right side of the Ranger offensive line has done a pretty good job so far this 2nd half.
So from the 14, do you keep it on the ground or maybe do you try something here? Eggleston's left along with another wide receiver. Tight end and a receiver to the right. Fortone going right, has a seam out the edge, cuts it upfield, gets to about the 10 before he's knocked down there. So a gain of about 4. Brings up 2nd down and 6 from the 10.
Well, you sense that maybe the coach Jeff Shin, the offensive coordinator for Smithson Valley, he's setting it up for some play coming back to the wide side of the field because this is the 5th straight play into the boundary on the right side.
Some subs come in and out for the receiving corps.
Changing the play too.
Little change, play clock under 8. Takes the snap. Gives it to Fortune, who bounces right, gets knocked down. Doesn't get knocked down. Stays on his feet. Gets inside the 10. They'll mark him up to the 7. A gain of 3 on second down. That should bring up a 3rd down and 2 from the 12. They need to get just inside the 10-yard line for a first down.
I think they're going to need about a 3.5, Tony, to make the first down. But that time, Thornton didn't have anything. He really didn't have any. He had great penetration by the defensive line, so he had to peel back to his backside and see if he could get some sort of momentum. And he did pick up a couple yards out of nothing.
Same formation again. Gombert sends Eggleston in motion. They faked the handoff. He gave it to him. Did he give it to Eggleston? Now there's a flag. Don't know if that's an illegal block, but that would be my guess. On 3rd and short, we didn't get the first down. It's a hold. Would be on the receiver on that side probably then.
Again, the play going back into the short side, the boundary. And they're not working the left side. They keep working the right side. Unfortunately now, Smithson Valley being called with a holding penalty. This really puts them back. This hurts.
So 3rd and 13 from the 17-yard line. They need to get to the 4. Referee said something. I didn't catch it. Did you?
I did not either. The clock stopped, I think. I think that's what.
He's winding it on, on his mark. So the Rangers find themselves in 3rd and long now from the 17. They need to get to the 4 for a first down.
Look for Eggleston on this one.
Gombert fakes the handoff, now throws across the middle, and it's intercepted. Goodness. Linebacker Charlie Gonzalez picks it up. He's running on the sideline, Smithson Valley side, and he takes it all the way back near the 40-yard line. And the Rebels stopped the Rangers inside the red zone.
That's just unfortunate for Luke Gombert. He never saw the middle linebacker Gonzalez just going back in his hook zone and just reading the quarterback's eyes. I doubt very much Luke was able to look him off or just didn't ever see him. Threw it right into his hands. Big interception.
Big interception, the second one of the second half. And the Rangers turn it over. And the Rebels have the ball from their own 37-yard line. They have 1st and 10. After the interception return by Gonzalez. They'll send 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They'll fake the handoff. Serrano's rolling left, looking deep for Fungi across the middle. And a little bit of contact there, but I think both players adjusting to the ball.
Yeah.
Betsy on coverage did a pretty good job of pinning him away from the ball once it got close.
Well, again, going for the home run that time, Serrano did a little bootleg to his left to throw back to Fungi to the right.
Do you think the wind might have affected that one, bringing it this way just a little bit? He didn't lead him very well.
Well, no, I just think he just missed it. It was just one of those passes, and I think this time Serrano was leading over his back shoulder. Fungi was going towards a post. They just missed each other.
Like we had a hold or something there as well, thrown by the umpire.
Well, I can't recall one penalty besides the first 2 or 3 procedure penalties against Midland Lee.
So it is first down now, and what is that, 16, 15?
15.
Kieran takes a handoff. He's stacked up. Bunch of defenders. That is Jackson Sinney that got the first contact.
Yeah.
Gain of about, well, they give him a yard to the 33.
Yeah, Sinney coming up from his safety position and filling the D gap. Nice no gainer on that one.
So a gain of, we'll call it a long 1, 2nd and 14. Sinney keeps it after a play action, looking long. This is Fungi again. He's got room. Betsy trying to catch him, and he won't until he brings him down just in front of the goal line. That time, Serrano made a much better pass, and Fungi just ran under it. Another big play.
Well, the defense for Smithson Valley has to respect the run, and they're in a coverage where you send 2 verticals. They're basically one-on-one. And this time, the inside receiver, Fungi was wide open.
1st and goal from the 3. Serrano will take it in, and all of a sudden, the Rebels are up by 3 scores.
They make it look easy, but it's based upon big explosive plays to their number 1 receiver, Lloyd Fungi. And again, that time, Serrano had no pressure If you don't get pressure on him, he's able to stand back there. He can wait for his receivers to get open deep, and that's what's happened.
That time he kind of rolled away from some pressure, had time after the play action. The extra point try is up and good. 42-21. All of a sudden the Rebels taking control. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter. We've got a timeout on the field. The Rangers down by 3 scores on the Ranger Network.
Fisher's Neighborhood Market is teaming up with the Smithson Valley Rangers. When you stop to gas up, look for the Ranger Spirit Pump. A portion of sales from this pump will be donated directly to the SB Athletic Booster Club to help out our Rangers. So choose the one that's Ranger Blue and fill up. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
On the return. 24-yard line. Gordon on the carry. Picks up 5 yards. Second down.
Another day in paradise.
I feel my body dying.
Sun is shining bright.
Its teeth were clenched around my arm.
I felt like a rag doll.
It looked like a scene from Jaws.
It was a pretty rough trip. She was eating me alive.
Watch Animal Planet, GVTC, Channel 552.
Rangers trail the Rebels now 42-21, a 3-score deficit as we start the fourth quarter. Rangers with the ball at their own 24. And they will head into whatever wind is left here tonight, probably around 10 miles an hour. Rangers 2 receivers right. Gombert rolls that way. Looking long. That's Tietzman, and he overthrows him. Second time tonight, Tietzman's gotten by the cornerback and had a chance for a touchdown score if the two can connect. And again, the ball overthrown by inches, but they don't connect.
They don't connect. You know, Tietzman's gotten behind that corner twice now, to your point. And actually, Gombert did a nice job of laying it on the backside shoulder just a little bit too much. I like the call. I like the play. Just couldn't quite come up with the reception.
So the incomplete pass makes it 3rd and 9.
Well, you got to pick up a first down here.
Yeah,
you cannot give the ball back to Midland Lee.
Gombert straight drop back, looking left. Throws it over the top and throws it over the receiver. That was Austin Howell, the intended receiver, but the incomplete pass brings up 4th down and a Ranger punt if we choose to, and that we do with 11:47 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, there's nothing else you can do. I mean, you definitely have to try to flip the field somehow, get a turnover down here, and then get your offense back on the field with a better position to score.
Brooks, rugby-style kick. Will go across midfield. The 40 now rolls inside the 30, where it'll be down near the 29-yard line, and that's where the Rebels will start 1st and 10. With 11:36 to go in the game, the Rebels lead it 42-21. Rangers down by 3 touchdowns.
Well, it's been a game of big plays. Offensively, it's been a big plays. Defensively, whether interceptions, turnovers, whatever. There's only been that one drive where it's been 11 plays and been sustained. Something that's you know, that you basically draw up how you want to run it. It's always been about big plays in this game tonight.
37-yard punt, no return. Serrano keeps it after the fake handoff, and boy, he just burst up the middle of the line. Gets a gain out to the 37, a gain of 8.
Yeah, I like how he pulls the ball away from Quiros, and Quiros becomes that lead blocker, and he just follows him right off that that tackle. 1st down and 8. You get 8 yards on your 1st down. I think you're in driver's seat right there. There's nothing, you can do whatever you want to.
2 receivers either side. Serrano fakes it to Quiros, keeps it himself. 1st down over the right side, or he's bumped down by a couple of different defenders. Zoig was one of them.
Well, it looks like Jalen Nutt is back out in the field. He's covering one-on-one on Fungi.
Good for him.
I see them going badgering back and forth.
This is Serrano keeping it again, and he is dragging some defenders. Had Frash and just was dragging him across the 45-yard line. Gets hit again, but it still lurches ahead for another gain. A 6-yard gain on what should have been maybe 1 or 2. It's 2nd and 4.
We'll give Serrano some credit. He's not a big guy, but he sure runs like a big guy.
He does. This time he gives it to Quiros, who bounces out the left side, stays on his feet, avoids some defenders. Inside the 40, another 1st down.
That was actually Young that time. Mahikalan Young, he's out now in the game. Zone read, now he gives Young the football, and he makes another 1st down. 1st down, Midland Lee.
So another handoff again to Young. A gain of maybe a yard as they spot the ball near the 33-yard line.
Blake Bowen on the tackle that time for Smithson Valley. He's playing free safety. Looks like he's getting some playing time.
He is.
He's a junior. His 1st start, or didn't start, but he's getting a lot of playing time.
Motion on 2nd and 6. Illegal motion will cost him 5 yards.
Well, you just sense right now that the Smithson Valley, the Ranger defense, they just got their hands in their hips. They just feel like, what can we do different to stop this thing?
Well, and it's frustrating because the offense hasn't created any momentum here in the 2nd half to get them off the field long enough to feel like they're making a difference. They had some stops early in the 2nd half, remember?
Yeah.
Here's Young, bursts through the line, squirts right. 1st down yardage inside the 25. That gain of, goodness, 17 yards.
We got a player down.
Offensive lineman. One of the backups heads out.
You can't tell what number it is. 70-something, but I can't tell.
Yeah, 76 went in as the sub.
Okay. Yeah, we hope it's not anything serious, that's for sure.
Indeed. It'll be 1st and 10 when we come back. Looks like the 21 is where the ball's spotted after the gain of 17. Hellers.
72.
Seth Heller. Sophomore starting at right tackle. In fact, both tackles are sophomores on this offensive line of Midland Lee.
Said they've probably played pretty well tonight for sophomores.
That looks not so good, really favoring that right leg. Hopefully it's just a stinger or something, maybe twisted the ankle enough that there's a lot of pain, but maybe not out too long. Certainly hope he's not out a long time.
Yeah, me too.
So as soon as he gets back off the field, it's 9:42 here in the 4th quarter. It's a 42-21 lead for Midland Lee. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 from the Ranger 21.
Well, you look like you got one-on-one again at the top between Jalen Nutt and Larique Funzi. Let's see what they now they're going into a zone.
Serrano hands it off to Young, who squirts over the left side. It's a couple of yards to the inside the 15 to the 14, so a gain of almost 7 on 1st down. Or when you get 8 and 12 and 4 and 7 on 1st down.
Yeah. You basically do what you want to do.
Yep, here it is again. Serrano keeps it. Fakes the handoff and squirts right up the middle. Another 1st down inside the 5. So it's 1st and goal.
I would look for a little fade pass to Fungi now in the corner of the end
I don't
zone.
think they're going to throw the ball personally. I think they're going
you don't think so?
They've run the ball with great success. This time Young tries to go outside. Defender there was Padilla, who slowed him down. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you, but I just think that he's not through tonight. You know what I'm saying?
This is the 10th play of this drive by Midland Lee. They look to the sideline.
Clock is running.
Serrano with Young to his right. And he follows through the hole. There's a flag. He doesn't get to the goal line, I don't think. Mark him down at the 1, inside the 1, but again I saw a flag.
Back.
Saw a flag thrown in there in the midst of it. Oh, they're going to call it a touchdown now?
They call it touchdown.
They both spotted it down, but there is a chop block.
I don't think the band should be playing the fight song right now. That 6 points is going to get wiped off the scoreboard.
March it back to the 19-yard line. So minus 15 on the penalty.
You know the rule, I think it was right on the edge, on the end, where if a defensive lineman is engaged, another lineman cannot go low. And I think that's what we saw down there at the goal line. That's an automatic 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. So on 2nd and goal from the 19, Serrano with 3 receivers to his right, looks to throw it and then pulls it down and is tackled just inside the 20. Padilla among those there, a gain of about 3.
Padilla and Fresh.
Serrano again looks to the sideline. Gets the play. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Young the setback. 3rd and goal from the 16. Here comes a blitz, some pressure, and almost an interception as the pass is deflected. Intended for McMarillon.
Blake Bowman got his hand on that pass, Tony, and deflected it up and almost got it intercepted. This is a big series for the defense. It looks like that Midland Lee was going to go back in for another 6 points, but with the penalty, pushed them back. Now they're going to have to settle for maybe a field goal.
Gunnar Mead, the kicker tonight, will try from 34 yards. Snap a little high, brought down. Kick looks good. Through the uprights it goes. 45-21.
We got a Smithson Valley Ranger player down too.
Spot where the kick was kicked, wasn't it?
I think he came, I can't tell who the player is, but someone came through the middle of the line and almost blocked the field goal. It looked like it's almost like a leg whip. You know how your leg gets strained, it gets whipped and hits against something?
Trainers from both teams are out on the field. We will talk about it when we come back. The Rebels go up 45-21 on the Ranger Network.
Matt, we are excited to hear what you have come up with for the new Sage Capital Bank jingle.
You are going to love it. We think it really embodies Sage Capital Bank. Emotes class, tradition, effort. Well, just give it a listen.
Man, that's really got spirit, but isn't that
awesome?
That's the Smith.
Best song ever.
Well, yes, it is.
Yes, nailed it. Guys, we have got ourselves a jingle. Let's do it again.
Sage Capital Bank is proud to support the Smithson Valley Rangers, and you can bank on that.
Down to the 20-yard line. Incomplete pass.
Chandler Cole.
Sorry, we might have disappeared for a minute there.
Well, Cole had a step on the safety inside on a post route. That time, Gombert just overthrew him just a bit.
Just a bit, just a bit. So.
Incomplete pass stops the clock.
Yeah, 3:42 to go. Rangers trying to, there's a timeout on 4th down. So Larry Hill wants to talk for a moment before this, and the clock still runs. Timeout is called and the clock is running now at 3:35. So the first timeout of the second half by the Rangers.
Yeah, I think the timer up here needs to kind of keep their eye on the referee when he calls timeout and play clock, needs to stop the clock. Not that it's going to make any difference in the outcome of the game, but.
That is correct.
Well, it's been a football game of two halves where both teams slugging it out, kind of a heavyweight boxing match the first half. Both of them landing some punches, a couple punches more for Midland Lee. But nevertheless, the Smithson Valley Rangers came back and played well, putting them in a favorable position to come back second half and maybe win this football game. Unfortunately, 2 turnovers early in the third quarter really kind of just turned the whole game around in Midland Lee's favor. It's just kind of snowballed since then.
So 4th and about 15 from the 25. Rangers send a receiver wide right. Gombert wants to throw, has some pressure, tries to avoid it and can't. They brought 4, maybe 5 guys from both edges. Gombert sacked, and that's the end of the drive. With 3:29 to go in the game.
Yeah, he just did not have a chance at all that time.
The first guy was going to get, he's going to get enough of a block from his offense to get past the first guy, but then 2 more came in, and Luke knew it was over.
I think it was Trenton Lowe was the one who finished him off.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. The defense back on the field, and again, I guess for pride purposes, go out there and make a stop. You know, lick your wounds, understand what you learned from this football game, and make corrections for next week.
Serrano's out. It is Shamar Davis going to take the snaps. Rangers bringing pressure. Hands it off. I think that's Young again. Gets a couple of yards up to the 37, a gain of 2.
Trey Witcher on the tackle.
Call it a gain of 3. Clock runs at 3:10 to go in the game. Offense will be methodical to run the play clock down a little bit. So they'll take their time before they come back to the line of scrimmage. Play clock now at 10 at 2:55.
Here comes the play.
Davis sets his offensive line. Play clock goes under 5. Snaps it at 3. Fakes the handoff to Young and then goes basically down in a crowd of rushing Rangers. Hobeck and Padilla among those in on the play. Again, loss of about 2. Brings up 3rd and 9. And again, the play clock just under 25. Game clock at 2:15 now.
Not a whole lot going on offensively or defensively. I think they're just lining up like a scrimmage and getting this thing over with.
They'll give it to Young. A little burst of energy, but dragged down from behind. Rangers doing a nice job of staying with the play. I think that was Frash who had a hold of him. Gain of 2.
And Trey Moore also from the backside.
Yeah.
I think that was him that was actually hanging on to him.
Moore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the punt team will come on. This time with the wind at his back.
Yeah.
Fungy's hoping for a good snap here.
Every snap's been
questionable.
To your point, he's 6'5", and with his arm expansion, that's probably close to whatever. And good for him because some of these snaps from the center have been way over his head.
Who called timeout?
They let the play clock. Oh, no. They did call timeout.
They called it before it ran out.
Yeah.
So a punt will come here after this timeout at 1:18 to go in the game. Apologize again as we were off the air briefly with some technical issues here at the booth.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Brubaker? I mean,
Pflugerville Hendrickson comes in next Friday night. That's what I think right now.
Well,
and they're a good football team.
They are a good football team. Very explosive, kind of like Midland Lee.
Yeah.
You got some individual athletes that can turn the game for you.
3 non-district games, and they are all quality football teams.
Yep. No slouches.
No slouches.
No easy wins going into district play.
High lob snap, if you will, and not using the wind. Fungy gets a low line drive. Livingston will bobble it. Let's hope he falls on it. He doesn't, and I think the Rebels have it with 1:05 to go in the game. No, they say the Rangers got it. So good news for the Rangers. I think it's Livingston who must have wrestled it away down on the ground. As he was there, and then it looked like the Rebels might have beat him, pushed him enough, whatever the case is. Well, Rangers have the ball.
That's why you do that soccer style end-over-end style of punt, because you do get a lot of yards out of it, and it's dangerous to pick up. It's hard to handle, and that's a case in point right there where Livingston had a hard time grabbing the football and almost lost it deep in his own territory.
Rangers with the ball, 1:07 to go. Backup quarterback is in the game. That is Will Strachan, the junior, 5'11", about 150. First down play is no gain. Clock goes under a minute to go. Some backups on the offensive line getting some minutes here. Receivers who haven't played as much tonight are out there, and Strachan will have a chance to take another snap, probably the last one of the game. Handoff. Coming left, a nice looking run. Well, doesn't get much, but still Justin Avery maybe gets a yard up near the 15. The Rangers with the play clock rolling, the game clock at 20, have a chance for another play if they choose to. No carry, or no yardage on the carry. And I do believe that's going to be the final play of the game. They do break the huddle now, though, with 8 seconds on the game clock. Whether they get the play off or not, we don't know. 4, 3, 2, snap. Handoff to Young, goes left, breaks a tackle, spins ahead, gets a couple of yards, and that'll be the end of the game. Final score, Midland Lee 45, Smithson Valley 21. We'll have a brief post-game show for you coming after these timeouts. So stay with us on the Ranger Network.
Stop at Fisher's Neighborhood Market for anything a Ranger could need. Whether you're heading to work, coming home from school, or just needing a break to grab something tasty, Fisher's Neighborhood Market is your one-stop shop. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Smithson Valley Rangers go on the road to Midland, Texas, and fall to the Midland Lee Rebels by the final score of 45-21, 28-21 at halftime. We talked about adjustments. We talked about a great drive at the end of the second quarter, and we needed more of that. We needed more sustained ball possession, if you will, to keep their explosive offense off the field. An early interception in your territory deep, and all of a sudden the steamroller kind of came on.
Yeah, the game was kind of a tale of two halves where, to your point, I think both teams, they were, heavyweight championship, delivering blows to each other, and it looked like going into the second half, either one was going to win the football game, but unfortunately early in the third quarter, a couple turnovers just really turned the whole ball game around. And you just have to take a look at some of the young players like Luke Gomer getting his first start at the varsity level. He made some good plays out there. A couple of ill-advised probably throws, but also he made some good plays.
We're back home against Pflugerville-Hendrickson, 7:30 at Ranger Stadium next Friday night. So for Jeff Gandy, I'm Tony Brubaker, and for all of us at Wick Productions, this is the Ranger Network saying good night and God bless. The Rangers fall at Midland Lee 45-21.